Hello, I'm Eve Jackson in Paris. Coming up on today's show, the Oscar-winning director Roman Polanski resurrects his Vampires musical for a French-language theatre production in Paris. They haven't toured for 20 years, and even with a new album, there's little chance of a reunion concert. We catch up with the replacement group that are giving fans their Pink Floyd hit. And the 24-year-old comedian who's on his way to stand-up superstardom. We're at Daniel Sloss's Paris gig. Nearly half a century after co-starring in The Fearless Vampire Killers alongside his then-fiancée Sharon Tate, Oscar-winning director Roman Polanski has adapted the musical version of his film for the Paris stage. Polanski hopes Dance of the Vampires, which flopped on Broadway, will meet the same success in France as it did in Central Europe. Luke Brown reports.
Loud enough to raise the dead. The Dance of the Vampires, part musical comedy, part rock opera. Set in Transylvania, it tells the story of an aristocratic vampire with blood-sucking intentions on a beautiful peasant girl who's also the object of the affections of a young vampire hunter. At the controls, renowned filmmaker Roman Polanski, his hands-on approach belying a perfectionist bent forged by 6 decades of filmmaking.
It's all of the details together, be it theatre, cinema, painting or any other art. People who want to create something valuable always pay attention to detail, and I'm no exception.
Since 1997, the show has been performed in 11 languages across 12 countries. But until now, Polanski had been reluctant to adapt it into French, concerned that translating the work for his adopted homeland would prove problematic. Now even the songs, such as Bonnie Tyler's 80s power ballad Total Eclipse of the Heart, have been transformed for the French audience. For the cast, Polanski's creative input goes far beyond just his illustrious name.
You think his name's on the poster and he's never there, but in fact he's there all the time, and he's always focused on the detail. Even though we're in the theater, I get the impression he sees it through a camera lens, and it's really exciting to work with that much attention to detail.
The scale of the show is Hollywood-esque. A change of scene every 6 minutes on average, over 200 costumes, 150 wigs, as Polanski underscores his cinematic credentials.
He looks at the stage with the eyes of a movie director, and this makes some very beautiful scenes because he has another view, because he comes from film.
Indeed, the musical is a remake of one of Polanski's own films. Made in 1967, The Fearless Vampire Killers was Polanski's first big-budget movie. He took one of the main roles, the young hero, Alfred the somewhat clumsy vampire hunter, a welcome source of inspiration for his modern counterpart.
It's really funny to have Roman Polanski next to you, the man who's already played the role, because he can give you all the pointers you need.
In almost 20 years, over 7 million people have seen The Dance of the Vampires. Now it's up to the French audience as to whether or not they'll be seduced by its mix of pop and schlock.
And Dance of the Vampires is on at Paris's Mogador Theatre until July next year. Now, this week saw British rock legends Pink Floyd release their first studio album in 2 decades. For years, they've been plagued by infighting, with main songwriter Roger Waters leaving in 1981. But as Mark Thompson reports, demand for the band's live music has helped some of the group's fans to forge their own careers.
Their career spans over 5 decades, and their music is known around the world. But Pink Floyd haven't toured for 20 years. That's left fans looking for the next best thing. For the musicians in Brit Floyd, it's a gap in the market which has given them a chance to live out a childhood dream.
when you're younger, you know, you have these dreams of being a rock star like all your heroes before.
But also if you're a musician and you love to play and you love to sing and participate in something, and a job like this comes along, you do not say no.
An audience of over 3,000 people paid up to €60 to see Brit Floyd play Paris's Palais de Congrès. And they're not alone. Crowds across the world have flocked to see the band's live show, which stays true to the original group's performances, even down to the trademark lights and videos.
I'm 54 years old. It's my kind of music. It's my generation.
For me, it's all about refinding the magic I remember in Pink Floyd's music.
Brit Floyd don't have to pay the original group to use their material. Even so, they do seem to have their blessing. Some of the band were asked to play at founding Pink Floyd member David Gilmour's 50th birthday party.
There's a moment in Comfortably Numb where there's a mirror ball comes down as part of the guitar solo, and at his birthday party I distinctly remember he was there by the lighting desk telling them, like, bring the mirror ball down now, you know, because it's something he'd never gotten to see himself.
Such is the demand, the group's not the only Pink Floyd cover band touring the world. Australian Pink Floyd have been selling out shows since 1988. With the release of a new original Pink Floyd album, The Endless River, and little chance of a reunion concert, bands like these might be the best chance fans have of ever hearing the songs performed live.
And Brit Floyd's next dates are in France this Sunday, the 16th of November in Pau, and Monday, the 17th of November in Nantes. Well, next to a stand-up comedian who started at the age of 17. At 22, he was named one of the fastest rising stars in UK comedy. Now 24, Daniel Sloss has just appeared on American chat show Conan for the third time and is touring Europe. With writing credits for some of Britain's top comedians under his belt too, he's well on his way to stand-up superstardom. Nicola Hebden went to meet him at his Paris gig.
Hello! How y'all doing? You well? Most of us fairly disappointed that a child just walked on stage. I didn't get into it realistically expecting I'd ever be a comedian. It was sort of something I was just like, oh, this will be a hobby that I do. It's something I do. You know, some people do martial arts, some people do rock climbing, and I was like, oh, I'll just go on stage and tell dick jokes. If anything bad ever happens to me, my first reaction is, oh God, no. That'll be 5 minutes. Like, I can use that as a joke. Like, horribly embarrassing things happen to me all the time, and I can't wait to tell a room full of strangers about what happened. I am from Scotland. I was born in England, but I do consider myself fully Scottish because my mum's an alcoholic and my dad's clinically obese, so things kind of work themselves out, really. My family's sense of humour, we're horrible to each other. We're really, really mean, but that's what makes us laugh. Like, there's a lot of times I talk about my brothers and how much I hate my brothers and stuff, and I obviously don't. They're my brothers. I'm biologically designed to love them. They're decent children. They're good fun, and they're growing up to be, you know, people. My mum's had 4 kids, and you can tell that she loves us all the same, but after the first 2, she kind of stopped caring, because she'll always go on about how she was blessed with me, then she was gifted with my sister, then she had my brother, and she'll always remember the day that she was diagnosed with the other one. And you're like, I don't really think that's... I like doing comedy to new audiences because then you find out that the world isn't as sort of different as it might be. You know, I'm telling the same jokes. I've told in Southeast Asia, I've told in Australia, I've told in America, Canada. I'm now telling it in mainland Europe, in Estonia, and Lithuania, and Paris, and there's still all the same jokes are getting the sort of same response. I never told my girlfriend that she was the most beautiful girl in the world, and that was for personal reasons. It's because she wasn't. And not in a bad way, she was very good looking, I was doing quite well for myself, but my logic is there are 3.5 billion women on Earth. There can be only one most beautiful girl in the world. That's how it works. That's what that means. So all I'm saying is that statistically, probably wasn't her, okay?
And Daniel Sloss is on tour around Europe, ending in the UK until the end of the year. Now, the dancers from Paris's famous Moulin Rouge have can-canned their way into the Guinness Book of Records. They performed the most kicks by a single chorus line in 30 seconds. The club's soloists also broke records for the most high kicks behind the head and the most number of spinning splits in 30 seconds. Well, someone else showing us her moves in a new music video is Oscar-winning French actress Marion Cotillard. After offering her mesmerising musical debut as Edith Piaf in 2007's La Vie en Rose, she joined forces with Metronomy frontman Joseph Mount and Villaine for a new song called Snapshot in LA. We'll leave you with that. Remember our website. We're also on Twitter and Facebook. There's more news coming up on France 24 after this.
Of your